Since we're on the topic of A-body Mopars, we decided we better pick up another one just to make sure we get everything right. Check it out. So we picked up this 67 FASTBACK on Facebook Marketplace. And it's a pretty good car, but it's got more issues than the yellow car. But it's a car that's worth saving. So let's check it out. We'll show you some of the ins and outs. And this is a little bit of a preview of version 2. I don't know what to call it, the test mule, something like that. So on this one, we're going to do our suspension, but we're going to do a few things different. We're going to test fit a small block Mopar, possibly even a 3rd gen Hemi motor in here. Stay tuned. Come check out the inside. We got some goodies in here. So first indicator, door didn't sag too bad, so that's a good sign. The bottom of the doors are actually really solid, but there is some unsightly rust going on in the floor pans. I think this car is going to need a few floor pans, but it's still a salvageable car. The rockers are looking pretty decent. The quarters are looking pretty decent. There's a little bit of rust here, but up higher looks okay. I'm going to get the car blasted eventually, and then we'll epoxy primer it or whatever, and we'll find out for sure everything that it needs. But I mean, it's probably going to need lower rockers, or I'm sorry, lower quarter panels, which you can buy those. There's a little bit of rust in this rear window channel, and that was very common on these cars. There again, it's a 67, so it's got that plastic bead lock around the window. I believe I have a set of 69 FASTBACK stainless trim at my house left over from a car from long ago that hopefully we can use on this. I don't think I got rid of it, so I'll have to buy the trim and the gasket for the front. But basically our plans with this car are, we're going to use it for more R&D, version 2. Basically the suspension components that we designed for the yellow car are gonna be the same. Those are gonna be readily available here pretty soon on our website, hammerfab.com. But the goal with this car is, I'm gonna use it for training purposes for some of my guys, for doing rust repair and basic fabrication. I've got some newer, younger guys that have never done some of this stuff, and so I'm gonna let them practice on this car. And once all the metal work is done, floor pans and patch panels and things like that, we're going to work on building a SPEC Barracuda. So basically, a lower budget, it's still gonna be a really nice car, okay? But it's not gonna be as high end as some of our full custom builds. It's still pretty much going to be a full build, but a more affordable price point with basically things figured out. The metalwork will be great. The suspension will be Hammerfab suspension, already figured out with the killer stance. Wheels and tires are going to look on point, and you know, we'll do a full interior upgrade, probably as stock looking as possible, so we're not custom fabricating everything. We'll do all new glass. Well, probably not the back glass. I'll see. I'll have to see how hard that is to find, but we'll definitely do the new windshield and see if we can find better glass or new glass. And then we're going to, on this version, we're going to test fit small block Mopar, which I believe will bolt right into the version 1 crossmember. And then the plan is to get a Gen 3 Hemi block. Probably going to get a Hellcat just so I can test the worst case scenario for height for the oil pan supercharger. It's probably not going to clear the stock hood, but we've got a solution for that, I think. I've got a cool idea that might work out and look great on this car if you want to run the Hellcat motor. So, and then when this car is all said and done, we'll probably sell it with the Hellcat motor in it, either the Hellcat or a 3rd gen 392 Hemi, something like that. But it's going to be a modernized muscle car with vintage looking interior, all the right things done to it so that you can enjoy it. Stay tuned. This bad boy is going to be available for purchase at hammerfab.com. Click on builds and then click on builds for sale. All right, one of the reasons I bought this car was specifically for the bucket seats and the center console. So those are not gonna be part of this car in the end. 67 bucket seats are really hard to find. They're 1 year only, and I'm planning on putting these in the yellow car. So sorry, you can't have those with this car. But we'll either put the bench seat out of that Barracuda in here, which some of the fastbacks had bench seats, so that's not weird. Or we could do like some racy style seats or something a little bit different. But these ones are slated to go in the yellow slow back Barracuda. So we're gonna repaint the backs and the bases, get some new gold upholstery for it, and then we'll paint the console gold and transfer all that stuff to that car. So you'll be seeing that stuff redone sooner than later, and then we'll figure out a different plan for this. That was one of the main reasons I bought this. The other thing is the grill on this car is in excellent condition. Those are usually trashed or broken or something, and if you have to replace the grills, they're really expensive. So just buying it for the grill and the bucket seats was totally worth it in my opinion. And it's got a good back glass still, which I think will clean up really nice. But yeah, check this thing out, man. It's pretty rad. Man, I love this center console, man. Look at this. So I was thinking right out of the gate, I was like, I didn't know this thing flipped up originally. And so I was like thinking in my head, man, if I'm gonna do power tour, I gotta have some cup holders. None of these old cars had cup holders. And so I was like, I wish the middle of this thing flipped up or something like this. So I was thinking I was gonna have to do this. Look, it already flips up and it stays right there. And so I'm gonna figure out some kind of a cup holder that will either go here or like snap onto the side right here. But I'm thinking maybe make it snap onto the side where it's just like a temporary thing, like a 3D printed part. So that if I don't, you know, for show, I can just take it off of there and then shove it in here. Because this is gonna look really cool. And then I'm thinking in here, I'll have like, you know, like a phone charging port, cigarette lighter. There's a provision for a cigarette lighter thing there. And then it also has a cigarette lighter here. So basically you could have 2 ports for power. But I don't know, man, I just love old cars. The smell in here, I mean, it does smell a little bit like cat urine, but not that smell. We don't like that smell. But the old car smell, it's hard to beat, man. I did notice this one has push button heat on it where looks a little bit fancier than the notchback. The notchback has all dials, where this one has push button. It also has AC. It is a factory AC car. Look at that. I mean, it's got this. The guy said it was a factory AC car, but from my understanding, 67 they didn't have factory AC until 69. So I don't know if this is like a dealer installed thing or what, but it says AC right there. So that might be a rare unit. The dash is cracked on this, but I think you can buy this piece new, so we'll get that new. We may even do some modern gauges in this, especially if we do the Gen 3 Hemi. We'll have to get a new dash pad, which I do not know if those are available. I would assume that you can get those, but I think there's a place that I follow on Instagram. I forget what it's called, Custom Dashes or something like that, and they remake these vinyl foam dashes. Yeah, man, super cool car, fastback. It's got the headliner bows in it still, so I know you can buy the headliners for these cars. Oh yeah, speaking of those plastic garnish moldings, this one still has them. This one's cracked in the same spot as the other one, and that one's intact too. So I don't know, really cool. Check out some of these features in the back. So I like the notchback for the styling on the exterior better, but this fastback has some really cool features. I love this interior trim. It's all steel. It just flows really nice. It's got cool little dome lights. You know, it's a hard top still, which the notchback is too, but it's got this really cool, it's got like a lever back here that you flip the lever, the Barracuda in there. You flip that lever and the seat folds down like a truck bed. I mean, you could fit some lumber in here from Home Depot or something. I mean, this would be a cool car to drive that you could use like a truck, wouldn't it? Why wouldn't you want to drive a fastback and be able to go to Home Depot and pick up some 4x8 sheets? I mean, they would fit in here. They'd probably come all the way to the seat, but that's pretty stinking cool for an old car. So, but all these panels in here are in really good shape. I mean, even the red door panels are in good usable shape. We might, you know, if they're savable, we might just rock the red interior again. They actually look really nice. This car was originally red. It wasn't this color red. It was more of like a burgundy. It does have some rust in the trunk, but this is all normal rust on this car. You know, pretty much any vintage car that you find is gonna have the rust that this car has. There's a little bit in the corners here, but you guys tell me, if this was this, and that little bit of rust up there was the only rust spots on this quarter panel, but the rest of it was nice, would you guys cut the whole quarter panel off? Or would you just fix these little spots and move on? Comment below. Let me know what you think, and then you'll see how we do it in the future. All right, so one of the differences is because of the FASTBACK, they have a different deck lid. And so far with my searchings online, you can't get a brand new deck lid for this or the notchback. So you have to find a decent one or fix the one that you have. And this one has some issues. So there is a little bit of rust under here. So this car does have some rust issues in the trunk here. You know, it is savable. It's not terrible. It's pretty good all the way up here. This front edge is good. This looks really good. The front edge is good. Really, it's just this back edge. And to me, that's not worth throwing it away. It's not worth trying to find a better one. I did some looking around last night. There's several of them on eBay, but they all got the same rust in the same spots. So you're really, unless you can find a perfect one, and you know, based on my experience with Slowback, that's a pretty stinking solid car, and it's still got some rust here and there. And I don't think you're gonna find too many of these Barracudas in that nice a condition that you're willing to, you know, resto mod. You know, if you find a really nice one, probably better off just to leave it the way it is. But I mean, if you want, we can still do the treatment to it. So in my mind, this section right here is perfect for my guys to practice on and see if they can get that right. It's not that hard. It's not necessarily the most fun thing to do, but it's pretty much just an L channel that you shrink and stretch and fit. This is pretty solid around here. There's a little bit of rust right there. Not bad. Car is totally savable. Now, there is something different here. This was something that I didn't expect. So the FASTBACKs, because they have that bed floor type thing in there, they have this extra little shelf ledge that's welded to the floor. So that's gonna make doing our fuel pump access door a little bit more challenging. So we're gonna have to come up with a solution for that. But that's why we're doing this. We wanna do the different body styles to make sure that we don't just sell you something that says, oh yeah, it works with all models, but really it doesn't. Well, this is what we're gonna figure out. So the FASTBACK version might have a couple of extra little doodads to go with it, or a little bit more work involved or whatever, but the spare tire hump on this one is rotted out. Not worth fixing it. Like, it's not that cool. So on this one, we're probably not gonna do a factory style fuel tank. We're probably gonna just smoke this spare tire hump out of here and just make the floor flat, and that'll allow us to do a custom gas tank on the bottom, which can get it further away from the rear end for different exhaust options, things like that. And we may even design a gas tank that fits these cars with that configuration if you guys want a stainless gas tank, or one that holds a little bit more fuel in it, for long trips. That's what I'm talking about. So overall, the car's got some rust, but it's not terrible. Definitely don't want to throw this car away. It'll be cool. It'll make a great resto mod driver. So stay tuned. It's going to be neat. We'll get all new taillights, new trim, possibly new bumpers. I saw you can buy those. You can pretty much buy all the chrome for the front and the back. But the hard things to get are the window trim, the roof rail trim, the window trim, the side window trim, the bucket seats are unobtainium. So yeah, I think it's gonna be really cool. Not sure when we're gonna get started on this one. I really need to get back on the IROC Camaro. We're gonna get Slowback done for Power Tour, and then in between here and there, while the Barracuda is getting some paint on it, we're gonna try and squeeze in a couple episodes on the IROC, which is right here, and keep rolling on it. So I think where we left off was we got to finish installing the air jacks. I got some OEM window louvers for it, so we're going to restore those. I got new carpet for it, so that's exciting. And I mean, there's tons of things that we can do on this. I'm kind of getting excited about getting back on this car I really don't want it to fall to the wayside, but got to get slow back done for Power Tour. So you guys keep an eye out for us on Power Tour. Well, definitely the first 2 days. Not sure if I'm going to do the whole thing yet. So thank you guys for watching our channel. Hope you enjoy the content. Click the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.